A few days ago, there was a post that went viral on Instagram, and it featured an Afro Dominican grandmother. She had a beautiful baby in her arms, and I believe the child's mother had bought a doll for her daughter. But something interesting happened when she tried to give her own daughter this black doll.
Dominican moms be like,
No, no.
Las dos muñecas lindas
No,
de
yo no puedo
hoy.
buscar las que están allí.
¿Y cuáles que están allí?
Las que yo tengo allí guardadas.
¿Y cuáles son esas? Estas son las de ella,
Espérate, yo le voy a
que se
buscar.
parecen a ella.
Mire,
This is the doll that I got her.
mira la cara, mira cómo ella los cachetes, mira.
Ella no le gusta esa muñeca. No le gusta. No le gusta.
Ella sí le gusta.
Ten, Ori. Ori, ten. Ori. Ori. Ori, ten. Ori, your dolly.
Mira la misma cara de tu hija, mira los cachetes, mira. Esta la...
¿Cuál es la misma cara?
yeah, and that's the thing. They were brainwashed years ago. Like, this is generation worth of brainwashing. Like, you get what I'm saying? So
Now, even though I'm not a Spanish speaker, it's obvious that you can see that the mother was rejecting the black doll in favor of a white doll. And the mother, who I believe is the mother, tried to explain that her Afro-Dominican mother felt this way for this reason.
I don't, it's nothing like personal against her, because I know she just doesn't know any better. And even though I try to explain to her, make it make sense to her about how she's wrong, it just still doesn't click. Like it just doesn't click,
In her own justification, she just didn't know any better. That's the way that she was raised. But for many of us in the diaspora or in the Pan-African community, such an answer could not be accepted. And I wanted to explore why. Many years ago, in 1895 to be exact, there was a painting that was actually done, I believe, in Brazil called The Redemption of Ham. And The Redemption of Ham explored something that is still shocking to this day.
In 1895, Modesto Brocos created the painting, The Redemption of Ham. It featured an African woman, her mulatta daughter, her European husband, as well as a child. The piece explores the concept of blancamiento and mejorando la raza, whitening the race and making it better. A telling detail in this piece is the grandmother thanking God that the child is not black or dark-skinned, as well as a grin on the father's face for what many believe is the exact same reason.
As you can see, you have this African grandmother who has a half white, half black, a daughter who's married to what it looks like to be a European, Portuguese, Brazilian man. And she is thanking God because her child is now lighter. And you can see that the white guy is kind of like, yeah, that's right. You better be glad that, the baby is half white. And that thinking was evident in the first clip in this video. But people also want to justify as to why this is.
There are a lot of Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and Cubans who are mostly of African descent who will say that they are not black because, for example, in the Dominican Republic, black means of Haitian descent, meaning that you are not mixed. And I think it becomes an issue once they come here to the US because they just don't understand the racial dynamics or identification code here in the US. But honestly, the identification code in the Dominican Republic is rooted in anti-blackness because the only reason why they don't identify with black is because of a long history of anti-blackness. Wanting to separate Haitians from Dominicans and identifying as black in order to prevent unity among people of mostly African descent. Some Dominicans just can't connect the dots. And seeing how not even identifying as black in the Dominican Republic is detrimental to our own people. I know I'm gonna have people in my comments saying, we don't hate the color of our skin. That's not the only way to be anti-black. There's levels to it.
Now, this whole idea of blacks becoming more white in Latin America, there's a particular explanation that's important.
To improve the race, to make it wider. That is what mejorar la raza means, and that is what a lot of Latin people are consistently told by their family and friends. As you saw on the video where this comment came from, I told you guys about how I didn't know that I have racist biases before I moved to the United States. In the Dominican Republic, most people are darker than me. And there's this concept of hair, that I have good hair and that people that have curlier hair have bad hair. In the Dominican Republic, people are encouraged to marry white, to marry someone that is lighter skinned than you and someone who has good hair so that your kids can come up to be white with good hair. And believe me, I know that a lot of Dominicans are going to come for me on the comment section, but guess what? I don't care. The concept of whiteness is not limited to the United States. In fact, the superiority of the white people is all over the world at this point, to the point that Latin people are telling their kids, marry white.
Now, the concept is mejora la raza, I believe, which is improving the race. And this is Dominicans or Brazilians, people that have lighter skin and admixture coming either from Portuguese or from Spain. But as you know, I live on a continent of Africa, and I see people doing this same exact thing, even though white people are not intermixing with them. Instead of improving the race, what you will see is skin lightening or skin bleaching. I've even had people on my podcast who have very beautiful dark skin as a guest, and now you see them on TikTok and they look as white as I don't know what. I don't want to mention any names and get any trouble, but if you want to go and look at our podcast playlist, you can figure it out. But I do want to mention somebody that does have beautiful black skin, and that is Esther Natakunda. You see, Esther Natakunda is one of the more popular up and coming people here in Uganda. As you know, she hosts a Pan-African dating show. And as you can see, she's proud to be dark skinned, and you know, she has really, really nice skin, right? But so many people in this country are amazed that somebody like her would be able to even host the Pan-African dating show, or any show for that matter, for the fact that she's dark. And I read the message sometimes and people are like, Esther, you know, you're a real big inspiration to us here in Uganda as dark-skinned women. Like, you know, you are a hero. We like how you have so much confidence. And the reality is that even being dark skinned, which is normal here in Africa or in Uganda, it can be a hindrance because you're not light enough. Even though you don't have any European admixture, or you're not living under the same conditions as what people live in the Dominican Republic or Cuba or in Latin America, but yet still here in Africa, you see people skin bleaching to get better opportunities. And that is what we would consider self-hatred. The reality is this, guys, nobody will accept you. Even the lady who wants her daughter to have that white doll, if she goes out there in the public, people will not accept her at all. It will never happen. Even the granddaughter who may be light, she still will not be accepted because she's still going to be black. It's always going to be somebody lighter than her. The question is, do you accept yourself? And I'm going to give you an example of a group of people who did accept themselves, and that is the Emiratis. You go to UAE or even the Qataris, I've been both places. 67 years ago, these guys were the laughing stock of the free world. It was so bad for UAE, they used to get loans and money from Uganda and Kenya. But now when you go there, everybody wants to come there. You want to know why? Because they invested in their own people. They believed in their own group, and now their group is flourishing. This is the same thing that all blacks must do. You must accept yourself. Stop trying to improve your race by your skin color and try to improve your race by investing in your own people and trying to uplift your traditions and being proud of yourself. That's how you improve your race. You don't improve it by increasing your skin complexion. You improve your race by the values you have within your people. That's how you improve your race. And see, that takes hard work. It's intellectually hard to do that. That's the only way you're going to benefit. And once Africa and the black world understands that, they won't have to worry about being accepted by a group of people who will never accept you. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of Fair Use. I'm out.